Session 13. Information Worth Dying For. The day following the arrival of the crew to Leaseball City, Aura, Bobbert, and Yeshua received gifts from their new acquaintance, Percy, the leader of the rebellion against the noble houses, and a noble himself. They received 5 pills of clothes changing and a speaking stone. They also gathered their supplies and information on new plans for the celebration, as well as Yeshua receiving another gift, a bracelet with Pass Without a Trace. Making it into the city, they passed by the Whispermouse estate and decided to sneak in to retrieve Rosalie and Celia before commencing on the other plan. On the other hand, Rosalie snuck around her family estate to try and collect items to escape, including a short sword with her family name and trying to find her other belongings, as well as the crystal with Celia's soul, using the tunnels around the estate to sulk around. Their crew met back up in Rosalie's room and traded information with her, letting her know that they needed to gain information on the Valdoc and Whispermouse plot, and to destroy the transponder that lets the Metal Jackets communicate with each other. Rosalie, on the other hand, shared that her family is unable to save Celia, and are hoping that she will after she partakes in the celebration. They will place a crown with needles on her head that will inject her with a corruption magic ooze, due to the fact that they came to the conclusion that she was the only one able to handle the corruption magic. As Rosalie remembered the hollow pole in her room, Bobbert broke the pole, and they climbed inside, heading up into the attic, a dark room, where those with dark vision saw gurneys with blackened blood. There was also Rosalie's belongings, where she gathered up everything and her gloves with a small crystal between them, shaking and almost trembling with fear from the memories of this place from when she was younger. Bobbert turned his attention to the files on the wall, collecting 2. One of them was marked with a failed stamp, and the other was open and titled Arcane Soldier Project. Thumbing through the info, Bobbert learned Rosalie's family was hoping to create a being able to harness the power of the corruption and be a living, breathing weapon. Ending up killing multiple people in testing, subjects' ages started out as adults and slowly but surely making their way and finding more success with subjects who were younger. The opened files seemed to be unmarked, neither failed nor successful, being recently run through. While gathering it and closing it up, Bobbert further found the pictures of Rosalie in this file, meaning she herself was a subject in these tests, and seemingly the only living subjects from these experiments. As he put the files away and Rosalie picked up the crystal, a trap triggered, turning the crystal that was a trick to ash and making the floor a minefield of runes. Crew managed to make their way through the minefield, fairly beaten up at the end of it, back into Rosalie's room, where they healed there. Session 14 and 15. The Day of Unification and the Dawn of Chaos. While questioning on what to do next, the crew called upon Percy to let him know what they found and the information on the Valdocs and the file that they can give to him, and asked if they can send people to possibly transport Celia out of the city. After the call, Rosalie calls upon Fernies to meet her newfound friends and requests that she be the one to help transport Celia out of Leaseball, to which Fernies requested that if she can take Rosa's brother as well. They split up, relaying that information. Aura chose to walk on the street to make it to the Edelar estate, while the other 3 chose to crawl in the tunnels. Surveying the area there, Aura found a vent where she, Bobbert, and Yeshua will be able to enter at the time of the attack to destroy the communications tower. They all met back up, reconvened, and enjoyed some of the festivities, buying masks and such. Before splitting up again, Bobbert gave Rosalie the file with her pictures in it. She left to join her family at the town center. There, she met with Judy and an old friend, who she had once harmed accidentally with her magic, Jasper. They reminisced and talked for the remainder of the festivities, while the other team infiltrated and took down the transmitter. The time for the presentation was at hand. Laura Whispermouse took the stage to present new technology, teleportation, strong enough to send entire fleets to any location, wherever they wished. Reagan, Rosa's father, was enraged by this. She took all the credit and presented something that wasn't even supposed to be known about yet. As they squabbled and fought in front of a crowd, Percy made his way to the stage, calling out the wrong deeds of the noble family, pulling out his gun, and shooting Jasper. Crushed by this, Rosalie went to try and help Jasper before it was too late, not noticing her father standing by, placing the crown of needles on her head. The ooze was injected into her, and it felt like her head was being split in two. Her soul was ripped from her body. Something else had taken her place. It casted her out, bringing a message for the people. The Fae King was coming back to this world. That all humankinds were no longer going to survive in this wonderful land they knew much longer. The creature seized the city and stretched it out up to the sky before releasing it, causing everyone, including our crew, to plummet back to Earth. Rosalie, now a lost soul, found herself in the sky, floating closer and closer to the moon, and met her goddess, Helena. Helena informed Rosalie there is a way to get back to her body, that Rosalie is in a weird pseudo-state of being a demigod with her abilities. She sent her back with the crew at the bottom of Leaseball City to start their journey back to Concord Square. As the crew made their way through the city, they encountered many different threats, a giant mass of bodies that grew in size as more bodies joined in the creation, with a hunger that can never be slaked. They also encountered a battlefield of people trying to leave Leaseball, fighting against undead soldiers. Those who made it out informed them that the higher levels of the city were not safe. Ignoring the warnings and determined to return Rosalie to her body and Leaseball back to its former state, the crew pressed on. Is there any way to return the city back to normal? Will the crew succeed in returning Rosalie back to normal as well, and make the city a safe place again? That is for us to find out next time on Seaworthy.